have to take 100% responsibility for everything that occurs in your life in order for you to change these things. And that is the hardest thing for everybody to accept. And I have to admit to myself, too. I'll give you a story that I've never told anybody. It just happened within the past few weeks. Of course, my ex-wife, who I was married to for 20-some years, best friend and everything, died last year, and it was a major event for me. This was my best friend, and we were married for 20-some years, and even though when we were separated, we were still best friends. We still stayed in contact and, every day talked or emailed or saw each other. And she died last October. So I would put her house on the market to sell, and it took forever to sell, and I was wondering, why isn't this selling? What is going on? Of course, I never looked within myself. I always looked at the outside circumstances, and I would find people to validate, the market's a little bit tough right now. They're building new homes in the area, so the older homes don't sell as well. All of that kind of stuff was there. When I finally found a buyer, it took forever for this house to close, partly because the original owner of the house, this is fairly complicated, but when I first bought the house, it was owner finance. The original owner of the house did not want to sign any papers to release the house, even though he was going to get paid off if he signed. And I would look at that and go, no, why is he being a stubborn, you know what? Why is he being this guy? Always, again, looking outside. And I had to stop and ask myself, Joe, you're the guy who says everything in your life is being attracted to you because of you. You have to take 100% responsibility for everything that's happening instead of looking out there and blaming the previous owner, blaming the realtor, blaming the economy, blaming the housing market. Look at yourself, take responsibility, and say, okay, why don't you want to sell the house? I paused, looked within myself, and it's like, this is the last concrete reminder of my wife. And I didn't want to let it go. When I finally came to grips with that and said, okay, I'm never going to forget her, that's still going to be in my heart, it's going to be okay, I was able to sell the house 24 hours later. Taking responsibility even for myself. I'm the guy standing up there as this, I don't know, an evangelist for the whole idea of the attractor factor and taking responsibility for your life and creating your own reality. And I'm admitting that it is incredibly difficult for us to take 100% responsibility for our lives because it is so incredibly easy to point outside and say, no, it's the president's fault, it's the economy's fault, it's a terrorist's fault, it's my spouse's fault, it's my dog's fault, it's, whoever's fault. That's easy to do, and that's not reality. That's the illusion. Your brain can be directed, and you can direct it by the questions you ask. Now, most people ask these negative questions that send them down the sewer. The favorite question of the mind is something like, what if? What if things go bad? What if I can't pay my bills? What if I don't lose weight? What if I have a health problem? What if she leaves me? They ask the negative question. And that causes your brain to go, and the brain's neutral. The brain's just got to go after the solution that you gave the question there. So if you ask something that's negatively leading, it's just got to go and obey you. So if you say, what if I don't get better by next week, or what if I don't raise the money by Friday, your brain's going to say, okay, let's come up with all the ways that you can't raise it by Friday. Well, the beauty of this is that you can take control of your brain and ask different questions. So they can be the questions like, what are some ways to raise the money by Friday to pay the bills that I need to pay? And it could be even a better constructed question, what is an easy, effortless, and healthful way to lose the unnecessary pounds I'm carrying by August 22nd? I mean, you can ask these well-constructed questions that will cause your brain just to be an obedient researcher. It'll go within you, first of all, looking for any answers, but then it also kind of alerts your mental radar so that when you are browsing online or you're getting some snail mail or, as you pointed out, you're walking through the bookstore, suddenly these thousands of books are blurred, but one book seems to almost leap off the page or off the shelf. And that's the book that's geared towards the answer to the question that you had given to your brain. So I treat the brain like this, like a missile operating pad, and you tell it what you're looking for in terms of an answer, and it will go and find it. So you want to be more positively directed than negatively directed. To give the example that you gave earlier, rather than asking what's wrong with me, what's right with me? List all my positive qualities and let it go to work for you there. It will just as beautifully come up with answers for that question as it will for the other question.